Hey friends, welcome to Tracks and Trucks Garage. On this episode, we are going to take this 1984 C30 cabin chassis and we are going to graft it onto this 1976 Dodge D600. At least that's the plan. All right guys, so as you can see, we are working in the wild, as I always like to say. We do not have a big shop that's actually in the works. We're expecting that to be here in the next few months to get that going. But right now we're still working in the dirt. Cutting this frame, getting it squared up, that's a lot of work to do. That's a lot of pre-planning to do. Most times when people do this, they're setting out their jigs, they're dropping their lines, they're putting lines on the floor, chalk marks, paint marks, you know, whatever, so that they have reference points. Well, we can't really do that. Not only are we in the dirt, we're on a slope too. If you can tell, if you look at the front of this here, and then you pan over to the back of how high we are off the ground. So we're blocked up. We have blocks here, and we have big jack stands, big pipe jack stands. So we're stable. We are level across and front to the back. And we use the little digital level. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cheap. Amazon, I bought it. I don't remember how much, maybe 20 bucks, 30 bucks. And it's been right on the money for us, so that works. But we've used that to get everything level front to back. And then we went the way of the Egyptians or the aliens, whichever you want to subscribe to. So plumb bob, square, and a measuring tape. What we did, we took a couple blocks. We set a block under the hub on either side. And they're heavy enough that they're kind of going to sit there unless we kick them over and knock them over and everything like that. But that helped us for now on having a good place to be able to get our lines. If you can see right here, we have stakes in the ground. We have string lines. So what we did is we laid a big level across here, measured back out to the level so that we could make sure that our wheels were equal, that our hubs were square in line and we weren't turned. So then I took and had lined this up here with the top of this lug, rotated it around until we were centered. Then that's our mark. There's a little groove right here in this cap. So we lined up this top, got it over to where it was plumb, dropped it down. We put our mark, cross-hatched it. We took this just straight edge, laid it across here. You can see the block that we set over here. So we took this bolt hole, we lined it up with the bolt hole on the other side. We know that our frame is 34 inches exactly from outside to outside. So our inside was 28 and a half, or excuse me, 28 and a quarter. We came over 14 and an eighth inch. We had this out here like that. Yeah. I marked a little mark on it, dropped our plumb bob down, put a mark on our block. We did the same thing on the back side back here. As you can see under here, we put us a block there, did the same thing, dropped it down. So that gave us our center of frame. So from left to right, we know that's center. So then we came back here, we hooked this a little block, hooked the string on it, lined the string up with the hatch mark back here, and then we went around to the front. You can see we have the block in the center. It's lined right up with our hatch mark. So we have a straight line all the way from the back, all the way up here. So like the way that we do on our concrete jobs, we drive our stakes in the ground, we tie it off. So if I need to move this, then all I have to do is just loosen my string, pull my string off, I can move it out of the way. And then once we're ready, we come back, retighten our string, and we're good to go. So right now, we have front center hub line from left to right. We have our rear axle line from left to right. And we have our center of our frame from, I guess, north to south, we'll call it that, because technically that way is north. And so right now we are all laid out. So as long as we don't run over our stake lines or something like that, but I'm going to leave the blocks here on the ground, and I'm going to leave the stakes in the ground, obviously, and so that we can go at it that way. And if we do move something, we might be able to piece it together and measure some stuff off and kind of reset, but we should be good. When we lift in this frame, I have a skid loader that I brought home from work, so that ought to help us keep everything straight because nothing will have to touch the ground. So our next step now is we're going to figure out exactly where we want to cut the frames at, and then we're going to get the frames cut. That's the goal for the rest of the day, is just to get these frames cut. So far, so good. So before we cut it, I need to weld us a little brace across here so that once we do, this frame rail doesn't pop out any and I don't have to fight it later on. So we're just going to kind of tack this in a little bit and go with it. So if you're still watching, then you're probably wondering, why the hell didn't he tell us where he decided to cut and why he decided to cut? So my bad, I forgot to record that. So I have this this old bump side Ford frame right here. I'm just going to use this as demonstration purposes. So we're going to pretend that this is the D600 frame right here. Obviously, we have the front shock mount, we have the body mount. Well, on the D600, the frame under the body mount is parallel from top to bottom. Right here, it's a little bit sloped, but on the D, it is straight, parallel, front to back. Up in front of the body mount on the D600, it starts to kind of arch up. We wanted to do our graft right where the frame rails were parallel, because on the C30 frame, with it being a cabin chassis, it's the same way, 34 inches in width. The frame is parallel once you get past the suspension part. So we wanted to graft them where they were parallel to make it easy to line them up on the bottom and down the sides. So this is what's left of the C30 frame. So if you can see, this thing arcs up and it comes down. Well, right about here in this section is where it flattens out. And instead of having any kind of arc to it, it is parallel here to here for probably a good about 2.5 to 3 foot. And then it would arc back up onto the front. So I'm going to kind of cover up where we've did our connected and this and that, because that's for the next video. But you can see right here where the frame is arched up and then it comes down, and right about here it gets parallel, and it gets parallel all the way to the back. Pretend this is the D600 frame that was here. All right, so we went and we came all the way up into the front and we cut this thing way up here out of the way where it's no longer parallel. At that point is when we did our measurements and we decided, okay, from this bolt hole to here is X amount of inches. From this bolt hole to here is X amount of inches. And I wanted to stretch this frame as far as we could because we want a really long wheelbase. Where the orange line is here, that was the original wheelbase. And right now where we are about 22 inches forward from the original wheelbase. So we've stretched this frame about 22 inches. So hopefully that makes a little more sense on how we got this cut. Back to grinding. We got the driver's side cut all the way through except for the very bottom flange. So I'm going to get this side cut through, and then we're going to cut the bottom flanges off and take this whole piece out. Now, are you failing me? All right, back straight up. Easy, stop, up, a little bit. Let it come back down because we're hung. Hold it. Back up. Easy. Well, it has been a long time coming, but the front clip is gone. This frame has been cut off. And this shit's real now. So now I got to cut that one off, stick it over here, and set it by this one. So this one ought to be a whole lot quicker and a whole lot easier, hopefully.
Boy, it's been a long and hot day, but everything has went a whole lot better than I actually figured it would, to be honest with you. Especially considering that this is our first frame graft. Now we just got to get everything measured, fitted, and welded up tomorrow. At least that's the plan.
This sumbitch ain't two pieces anymore. It's one. It may be a piece of shit, but it's one piece of shit.